gonna take you guys over to this beautiful spot. They've got a really nice lookout at the top of the hill. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves. Today we are here at Heeman's. This is a beautiful family-run garden center. They have so many things to offer here. They have houseplants, they have strawberries, they have cider. They really do have it all. So if you're looking for something like that, come check them out. If you guys aren't already subscribed, please hit that button down below. It would help me out so much. And if you enjoyed today's video, you can give it a huge thumbs up as well. It would really mean the world to me. But with that being said, guys, let's get straight on into this tour and follow me along as we tour Heeman's Garden Centre. So some may not know that Heeman's is a family-owned business, and you guys have been doing this for quite some time now. Are you able to tell us a little bit about how you guys started in this industry?
So Heeman's was started by my grandparents because they emigrated from Holland as their honeymoon. So my grandfather got a ticket. He got 2 tickets and to Holland and from Holland to Canada, and he went over to my grandmother's and said, "Do you want to marry me and move to Canada?" And she was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea." So they ended up moving to Canada, and after a few years of kind of moving around Ontario, they came back to London, which was the place that they originally started, and they really liked being here. And so when they bought the property that we're on today, there was a half-acre patch of strawberries and a cow. And my grandparents, the cow isn't with us, but the strawberries are, and that was something that they kind of grew, and that's how we got in the strawberry business, because it was there. But my grandmother grew up in Aalsmeer, which is where the flower clocks are, so the flower capital of the world, really.
Yeah.
And she grew up on a carnation farm during World War II, and so she said to my grandfather, like, "We should put up a greenhouse." And my grandfather said, "I don't know anything about greenhouses." And my grandmother said, "We should put up a greenhouse." And now she definitely got the last laugh on that, because now we have about 160,000 square feet of greenhouse. So we do 12 months of the year, but we have strawberries and fresh market produce, and then our greenhouse, of course, where we're doing 12 months of the year. So we went from strawberries and greenhouses where we're really just like doing spring annuals, and now we do 12 months of the year and doing all the different seasons. So yeah, and we have a hard cidery as well. So now we do booze.
Nice.
It's good. This is so we started that in November of last year.
Yeah.
But obviously, I guess it's a very good product, award-winning. But a lot of people really like it, and having that offering as well has been a nice compliment to what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I love seeing people incorporating totally different things into it. Like, I've been to a few places where they serve smoothies and coffee. I think it's a nice thing. People enjoy having something extra to enjoy while they're, let's say, looking for house plants or whatever they're doing here. It's just an added bonus. So also, I'd love to know how many people work with you, and if they have specialties, what you guys have going on here.
At Heeman's, we have a few main divisions, or like business units within the properties that we have. So there's the greenhouse, obviously, and this spring we had just under 140 people working within the greenhouse specifically. We also have our strawberry counter, or our berry counter, where we're selling our produce and our ice cream and our coffee. And then we also have our pick your own, and then we also have all of our strawberry pickers who are actually getting produce. And then we also have the hard cidery. So over the course of a year, there's at least 150, but it's a floating thing because it's so seasonal, where you have the highs and lows of things. But we do have over 40 full-time year-round staff that are working here. But everyone does have a little bit of a focus, so we do have a number of horticulturalists who are on staff, so if people are coming in to look and talk about trees or shrubs, we've got those guys for you. And then we also have our team that work in houseplants, of course, because we joke that we need to have people that when somebody's coming in and wants to talk to you about the difference between a Rapsilis or a Rhapis or a Rhaphidophora, we need to not be able to look at you and go like, what are you talking about? So we need to have that kind of specialty. So we do have a team that really help us to be able to offer that experience to people. For those who've been here before, they might know that we call our staff daymakers because our goal is to be your happy place. And so we want to make sure that in addition to ensuring that you have a positive experience, that we know what we're talking about, because there is, if you are a real plant geek, or if you're not and you just need to talk to one, then we want to be able to be on your level, or to be able to coach people through whatever gardening, indoor or out, that they are trying to get some assistance with.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you have a favorite part of this business? Are you into the cider? Are you into the plants? What do you like?
Well, maybe on a Saturday night I'm into the cider, but generally speaking, I feel like that I love every aspect of what we do. We're sitting here in our tropical plant babysitting greenhouse, and this is like a really cool thing that we like to share with people because it's unique.
Yeah.
But I don't have any one specific passion, because I can get really excited about ordering perennials, and we were just ordering the varieties that we're going to carry for next year. Yeah. And then I can get really excited about an Instagram video of our new tour of all these like plants.
Yeah.
I do specifically for your audience, I do order our tropical plants, and I do go to Florida and I meet with our growers, and I'm able to we say curate a list of plants, because obviously we'd love to have everything that's on people's lust lists and their wish lists and all that, but we do try to put together a really cool assortment for them. And that's definitely a passion of mine. But we do a lot of things, and I do take great joy in the wide variety of it, being a business owner here.
I think that's what makes Heemans Heemans. You just have everything. Everything a plant lover, an outdoorsy person would love. It's a great place to just come hang out too. If you guys are in the area, come check it out for sure. It's such a beautiful, beautiful facility.
We love being able to say that you can come in, if you're coming in for that plant, and then you're like, oh, but I'm gonna grab a cider for the road, or I'm gonna grab a flat white at the beanery, which was like, I did a sabbatical in New Zealand after I graduated, so I worked at a garden center down there, which is how that was kind of one of the draws for having the garden center, because if you go anywhere outside of North America and you go into a garden center, they assume that you're going to be able to get a really good cup of coffee, because that's just what's synonymous. You go to Australia, New Zealand, anywhere in Europe, great cafes are always in garden centers.
So what does a day in the life of Will look like? It seems pretty exciting. I don't know, I'd love to have your life.
So a day in the life of a chief daymaker is a little bit of everything. So it would be a combination of reviewing orders for doing houseplants and the different nursery stock and all the orders of products that we have coming in. It would be making sure that we have proper training for the things that are coming in, to make sure that our daymakers know about all of those cool new features or the timing of the seasons that are going on. It would be sitting down and doing planning meetings and coming up with the next offering or the new venture that we're going to be getting into. I also do all of the marketing of everything, so from the videos that people might see or the photos that are there, we're facilitating those and kind of coming up with that. So one of the things that I really do feel is important when people come to Heemans is that they know and that it feels like a family business. We want to make sure that there is that feel. And I think that when I've been to places, it's one of those intangibles where when you go in, you don't necessarily know what it is, you just can kind of feel that. And we want to make sure that even though we have so many staff, we have 8 family members that are working here. That's and great. We do want to be able to say that, we really do appreciate people supporting our family and being able to come out to the farm or to the garden center. So making sure that that's always present in somebody's experience is really important.
Yeah, I can personally really feel that when I come here. So you guys are definitely doing a good job of keeping it in the family. And it's really nice to know that we're supporting a family, because I would absolutely love to support, even though this is a large operation, it still feels like a small business. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I guess the last question that I have for you is, what are you most proud of in your personal life and also in your professional life?
Related to the business, I would say probably the most important thing that we've been able to accomplish is having that transition from one generation to the next, and building in new things that people get really excited about, but still being able to have those interactions with people who've been coming here for 20, 30, 50 years. So they've literally watched me grow up, and have them come in and be proud of that transition, and not have them come in and not feel like that connection that they've had to where we were.
There's got to be some pressure there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I graduated and they ran a feature on the cover of, it was in the local newspaper, and they're like, he is the third generation, but will it be the one that blows it? I'm like, well, geez, they're putting it right on the cover there, eh? But
that's unfair.
Yeah, but I mean, it is. It's definitely a case where, you know, we have a lot of high expectations from our customers. So professionally, you know, when I was named Young Retailer of the Year for North America for the industry a few years ago, that was
I did not know about that. That's
yeah.
fantastic.
So I was. I think now that I nominated somebody else from Canada who also won, but there's very few Canadians who have been in that position. But you know, that was a nice piece of recognition from the larger industry. But you know, personally, my father was just riding around with my son, who's now the fourth generation, and being able to have him come in here. I remember coming home from working at the greenhouse, and I was very young, so I said working, very serious, working. And my grandfather was like, "Oh, put some pea buzz in your pocket, take it home." And my mom was like, "Opa," I was so mad. But so for him to be able to have those experiences and coming in, it is really special to be able to have him working alongside us and coming in and being able to share that. And again, continuing that on is really special.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I'm so happy for you guys here. It just seems like a dream come true to have something like this. And to have built something this amazing. I would really love to take a look around your beautiful facility, and we are sitting in your, what is this building called?
Welcome to the jungle. This is our tropical plant babysitting greenhouse. So we just call it like the jungle, because when it does get filled up, it's super lush. So all the plants that are in here are owned by somebody else, and then we're just babysitting them over the winter time. So
so none of these ones are for sale.
Yeah, none of these are for sale. These beauties are just they're just here for a little bit, but you know, in Canada, this service is from October till end of May. So like, we technically have them for 8 months, and then they go to their owners for 4. But we get them for the worst 8 to make sure that they can get to be the beautiful specimens that they are. Like,
they really are beautiful.
Yeah, some huge some pieces. So we can take a look around here and in the front as well. We don't have like only like rare exotic ones. We pepper them through, because we do have. Even within the greenhouse, like within the garden center, houseplants is obviously like a big component of what we put out there, but it's still less than 10% of what we do within the greenhouse. So we don't discriminate against any plants. We love all plants.
Absolutely. No, I do too.
So in this space is basically where we're receiving the plants, and then this is where they get checked in, because for people who are at home, as you know, when you're transitioning a plant from outside to inside, pests got to be on it. So this is where we're doing the inspection. So we do all the inspection, and then we do the pruning. In this space is where we have some of the larger ones that won't fit under the energy curtain that we have to put into the other greenhouse. So this greenhouse, in-floor heat, perimeter heat, and then energy curtains and shade curtains. And so we do this because ideally we'd want them to be not too warm.
Yeah.
So the roots are actually growing right on the floor and the heat is radiating up through the floor. So the roots are nice and warm, but your nose might be chilly. So we might keep them around like 50, 55, even 45 degrees Fahrenheit if we need to.
Yep.
So we're talking, you know, chilly, because we don't want them to be pushed too aggressively so that they're exerting themselves too much, because we want to basically simulate a dormancy and then start bringing the temperatures back up closer to when they're going to go out to people, so that they're looking prime but not too overgrown.
Yeah, for sure.
So in this space here, these are all palm trees that go on the beach. So they literally lift it right at the beach, which is why you can see the sand that's on them there. And then these ones stay here over the winter time. So some of the reviewers who might be watching this are thinking, how do you get these from the beach into here and then back again? And the answer is complicated, but we have a winch and a tractor and a wagon system, and so they basically come off of that and they'll go in here and then we return them back to the beach. But all the plants that are in here, we don't own them and we don't pick them up. They all get dropped off by the owner.
So you don't do any of the delivery or anything like that?
We don't. We have, this is almost 26,000 square feet. We fill it up and they all come in within 3 weeks and they all go out within a month. So it's a lot of incoming and outgoing, because every single plant gets tagged, barcoded, and like sourced in our system, so we can create a report for you, so that it's basically confirming that we received it and getting the instructions on how you can get it back. And then, you know, when you call up in the spring and you're like, hey, I'm going to come out and I want all my plants within 2 hours, we have to make sure that we can get them all, find them quite simply, and then have them ready and waiting and looking good for you when you pick them up. So it's a job.
Yeah, it's beautiful back here.
So we have some like big white bird of paradise there. So obviously a trendy plant for people. And if they're not aware of how big they do get, this is not even the biggest one that we have. But when they bloom, usually they would bloom, like the orange ones, they can bloom after maybe 5 or 6 years. They might start getting to a point where they'll push out flowers, but the flowers are usually going to be up about 10 to 15 feet up in the air. They are going to put out like a bird that's like about this big, white with like a blue beak on that one. Really cool. And then, I should show you this. We'll go back here. These are my babies.
Ooh.
The variegated banana.
Yeah.
So and then
it's got a beautiful beach right here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we sold a bunch of these and I had to keep one, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with these guys here, we're just basically growing these to push out. There's some of the babies that might come on those, but they do get big. So when people see them on Instagram or they see the people's little pots, you know, it's like any plant. They will eventually get quite big, yeah, if you let them. So,
especially in an environment like this where they can grow.
Yeah. Usually I find like one of the things is like people are always so eager to push them into a bigger pot.
Yeah.
And they're always worried about them being root bound. And if there's one thing that you'll see from like having a plant like the one right here, where you've got this giant pot and then a giant plant, little pot, or even some of these palm trees where you look at how big they are and how small the pot is that on some of these, we know that they'll need a new pot when they literally physically break it. Yeah. Like you come in one day and the pot is in two, or there's a giant split down it. But if you give them more space, they will take it. It's like having a bigger house or a bigger closet. You're just gonna fill it. Yeah. You know. So.
You'll eventually get enough stuff to fill that house too. Is that agave?
Yeah. Yeah. So we asked that they put some of the corks on them because they are a little bit pointy.
Yeah, they are pointy. Wow.
So in this space, again, just as a reminder, all of these plants here, they come in from their owner. We check them, we prune them as is necessary, and then we place them in this greenhouse, and then they will grow. So we'll have them in the roof, we'll have them hanging, and then we'll have them on the ground. And then in here, when they come in, they'll all be tagged. So, you know, some of them are going to be outdoor tropicals that are really just too big for people to care for, and some of them might be ones that you would normally see inside, like these jades.
Yeah, they're stunning.
Yeah, so these jades are around 40 years old.
Wow. And do you usually keep the plants together from the same people, or do you separate them by plant type?
So we would always try to keep the plant families or the care that they need.
Right.
So all the plants that are on that first bay we keep colder.
Yep.
So that's why they're in that bay, because they're taller plants that can be run a little bit colder. And then in this space, these are ones that can tolerate a little bit more shade,
Yep.
which is why you'll see a lot of more of the palms of the indoor plants in this area, because we have shade curtains above here and energy curtains, so
Yep.
we can give them a little bit more cover so they don't get extra burn when it gets into the summer or closer to the springtime when the sun gets a little bit more intense.
Yep.
But, so we have that here. Everyone loves everyone loves the orange bird of paradise. So that's becoming one of those ones that we sold a few years back, but then it was just one of those ones that people loved to get these in a cut flower arrangement. But it takes a little bit for them to get to the size where they'll bloom like this. But when they are in bloom, this one can have 20 flowers at a time.
They're probably my favorite flower on a house plant.
1, 2, 3, and then this one, fourth one's finishing here. But yeah, very beautiful.
The variegated shell ginger, or
yeah. So the ginger, variegated ginger, Xanadu, and then more of the palms that are in here are the yucca. I know a lot of people really like fried ash.
Oh my gosh.
So
this is incredible.
just a larger specimen of the fried egg here. So we've been selling fried egg for years. So people have been able, and it was always for an outdoor plant, and then really only in the last year or two have we seen like just a huge demand for our fried egg that are gorgeous.
This one's beautiful too. This big, it has some bigger leaves.
Yeah. So some of the.
That's so pretty. Wow. They look so nice when they're more full. And look at the canes here. I didn't realize that they got like this. They kind of grow up as like little stalks.
I do want to comment that usually you're seeing these plants are looking some of their worst right now because they either just came in from like really frosty temperatures or outside where it's a little bit struggling, and then the owners are like, it's time to bring them back to Heemans, or they're a plant that might have been pruned back recently. But you can see we've got a couple funky begonias back here.
Yeah, those are cool. I think I have that one.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. Look at the size of it compared to my hand. I love that. I don't think I've really paid too much attention to the mojitos, but they are really beautiful.
It's more like a colocasia in my opinion, and so colocasia pointing down, floppy, alocasia more upright and firm, but when we find that they like a lot more water, and that's where like they can push into, that's why some of those alaphaneers are the taros and they go in the water. Yeah. So in order to avoid like getting a lot of the brown spots, we usually like to run them a little bit more wet.
Wow, look at those. Look at this giant peace lily too.
Yep.
It's huge.
Bacon.
I want to.
You should stand in front of them.
Yeah, I should.
In between two peace lilies. Here we go.
Yeah, in between the peace lilies.
Alaphaneer Praetora, and these are some of the bananas. So with these ones here, they're actually fruiting banana varieties, so they'll always have new pups going. And so that's why when this one will get to a point where it's going to produce, it will have sent this one because it's our backup and then more backup. So that obviously with the banana, I shouldn't say obviously, with the bananas, like the actual Musa bananas, not the Insettis, the ornamental ones, when they fruit, they'll die. So that's why I always have to have that new stock growing. Right. But so these are healthy plants, they're just kind of going through the cycle of life kind of thing, right? Yeah, they'll produce the bananas, and we actually will have them, and we'll call the owner and be like, hey, you've got bananas, or you've got like, you've got grapefruits, or you've got coffee beans or whatever, and then we'll call them, they'll harvest them, and then that stock will die, we'll cut it off, and then you'll just keep getting the new ones. Behind us here we've got our, these are the figs that have arrived so far, so you can see like they've already started some of them with the figs. And then we've got our oleanders in here, and then we've also got more of the night blooming jasmine just behind there. So Mom, one thing I want to tell you about is our red banana. So for people who get the red bananas, which is the Insetti, technically the Insetti, which is not a Musa species, but these are the big, beautiful red ones that you get. What we do for storing on them, they're one of the few plants where you can basically just go in and chop them off with a machete or a knife or whatever. You just cut the entire top off, and you can already see these have only been here for about a week, and they've already started to grow, and they'll just completely regrow. But if you were to, when they come in, usually they would be pushing 10, 12, 14 feet tall, so we cut them off and then they'll regrow all of that, so at least when they come back to their owner, they're not too big.
Yeah.
But we've basically given that treatment with it, and you'll see all the centers just popping right back up like that.
Super cool.
We've got some Alocasia Mickey Mouse that we're growing on for
Yeah, I'll go take a look at those. They're beautiful.
All variegated plants are a little bit more temperamental.
Yeah.
So they're one that are like a little bit fussy, but
yeah,
sometimes we all know those people in our life that are like just a little special, and so they need a little special attention.
But
we
still
love
special.
them, and that's why we give it to them. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's these. And then these are bottle palms, which are, they get their name because they look like a Coke bottle down below, but the bottle palm is gorgeous. They usually will have like, this base will turn like a bright orange. You can see the stem color on there. So, but on the new growth that's in here, you'll see that nice coloring.
Have you ever seen any of these plants in their natural habitat? Have you taken any cool trips?
I have. I've been to every continent except for Antarctica.
Wow! Oh my God, I wish.
So when we were in, probably the one where I saw the most of these plants and the plants that we sell was when I was in Peru. We were in the Amazon, so we did a week long in Amazon, and you just turn around at every corner and be like, there's this monster. I've
gotta go.
Yeah, I saw heliconias and I saw even like wild lantana just growing everywhere, and it was just endemic, and it was just, it was really cool. And then when I was in the Ngorongoro crater, like in East Africa, in between, like when we were doing Kenya and Tanzania, there was like, you just turn around and there's some really amazing.
I go to Tanzania
twice a year.
a year.
Some medical missions in Tanzania.
There's really, really cool stuff in there. So this is a space where we do like our yoga as well. So we do yoga in the greenhouse.
Oh my gosh, my mom would love that.
So we did it in this space over here. And so right now we're just receiving all the plants, so we might not have room for that.
Yeah, no, this is such a spectacular area. I've always wanted some hibiscus, but I don't have an outdoor space where I'm at, so I have to settle for the indoor plants right now.
So citrus and olives, and then we also have our own Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. These ones are the non-tissue culture variety, so you can see them both. They take forever and a day. So these are younger. They'll take about 6 months, basically, from when they get stuck to where they get rooted. The ones that are on the cart are a little bit further along.
So you guys are propagating them, obviously. You can see here.
Yeah, so they get taken from like our like mama plants, like these guys here, and then they'll just continue to grow. So once they're established, they're a beautiful grower, but
yeah, so this is the big mama plant.
This one, yeah, this one's big mama plant, and then these guys here got chopped way down to get some of those. But you can see that they'll have like the actual fenestrations in there, which only come with like a very mature.
Yeah, my mom's plant is starting to get some fenestrations.
Way to go, Mom.
Yeah.
Way to go. And like this one is a Washingtonian fan palm, so watch out for the spikes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, look at those spikes.
Yeah, very aggressive. But you know, so we have some of the palms that come in like that.
Wow. And sticks.
And this is freshly cut back. This one is a fig, like an edible fig. So by the time it goes back, this one's gonna look epic, but we need to cut it back because if it'll keep growing really well here in the greenhouse because it's got lots of natural light. And then by the time we return it back to the owners, sometimes they'll say don't prune it. We're like, okay, and we give it back to like, oh my God, it's too big. How am I supposed to put that? How am I supposed to bring it home?
Look at the oxalis in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are...
And you can see with the pine cones that are in there, but they're literally just growing right outside.
Yeah. A variegated lemon tree?
Yep. So.
Wow! I didn't know that. I mean, I guess everything could be variegated, but.
So variegated foliage and
variegated lemons.
Yeah. So this one's just been cut back as well, just to give it a little bit more shape. But it still has lots of fruit on there, so that's one of those ones where this owner has a few of them, so we'll call them through the winter time. Be like, hey, you want to come get some of your lemons? This is a braided money tree, but big.
Yeah.
So
It is
we cut it
big.
back, and then it usually goes back out like fully leafed out. And we had them actually flowering. They look like a fiber optic flower. They're like a big cluster, and it's just like a million fiber optic cables.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's just like your standard 4-in-1. So just like a lot of like oranges, lemons, limes. So we got grapefruits, lemons, limes, and tangellos on here. So you can see all the orange,
They're all on
oranges.
the same plant?
Yeah, so this is grafted. So with this, what they'll do is they'll take, say, a lemon, and then they'll cut off the stems of the lemon and they'll graft in their place like an orange and a grapefruit or a tangelo or something like that.
That is
And
so incredible.
On this branch, which all comes from this one branch right here, so all these branches are going to produce your tangelos, or your oranges, or your lemons, or your grapefruits. That one's got a few different ones going on with it. And it gives and then there's the lemon, obviously, that's right in there too. So it gives the owner, in this case, you know, it's a higher upfront investment because somebody had to go through all the time to like graft it all together. But then afterwards, if you only have room for one and you want good pollination, you're able to get all that cross pollination with them.
That's incredible.
And obviously get a really nice yield.
Yeah.
So, funky! So these ones are some of the ones that we have growing for future, but we're just gonna wait until they're a little bit bigger because they're still little babies.
You love those ones, Mommy. Yeah.
You're addicted to some of them like this. Well, there's some green on that one right there. Just a little bit, but translucent leaves. There's
Here, just check out these gloriosums. I actually bought my giant gloriosum from you guys. But these guys are so cool.
There's
That one's stunning, yeah.
just putting out leaves. So we're
Planning to have some more eventually.
I'm planning to be able to get some more bigger ones and then chuck it out. But one of the growers that we get these from, he only believes in growing big and huge plants.
Yeah.
So when people are like, that's awesome that you have like those, 4 foot by 4 foot Thai constellations. Can I get something smaller? I'm like, no.
We want one.
Yeah. So when these come in, they all came in like 7 gallons. They were like this tall and this wide. And so what we did was we chopped them up. And then we had to wait like half a year because they take forever.
Oh yeah.
So these are the ones that were either really slow. So this has now been a full year and it's now starting to like actually break dormancy. So it's been a little while.
Yeah.
But
some of these are just adorable.
Yeah, super cute. You're importing them. You're working on a global scale, and then you've got even for us when we're importing plants from Florida, sometimes if you're going into a nursery and you only need 1 or 2 things, the cost of the plant could be a fraction of what the phytosanitary certificate, the CITES, if you require one of those, the import charges, the brokerage fees, the shipping. It all adds into the cost of bringing a plant in. The price of buying it is one, and the price of landing it's like
absolutely. Is it worth it? Like, do you do it? I don't know.
Who knows?
It's tough.
If it's the right plant, I'm sure somebody would say absolutely. It's worth it,
yeah. If you're not gonna find it here, you got to do it. But well, thank you so much for showing us around. This was so incredible, and I'm so grateful to be able to come through here. You have so many cool plants. I mean, I know they're not yours, but it's cool to even look at them for a little while, right? Yeah,
well, we feel the same way. They're not ours, but we obviously have an attachment to them, and we are invested in making sure that they can go back to their owners looking awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a unique service that we like to provide for our clients, because sometimes purchasing a plant that's larger or will get larger, it's a little bit of you're unsure, but this allows you to be able to have that and continue to have it for many years.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible service. Maybe one day I'll keep my plants with you.
Yeah, maybe you just have to get them.
Yeah, I know. Eventually. Yeah, good to do my tour now.
Yeah, what we have in here is generally going to...
Thank you so much for sticking around and touring Heeman's behind the scenes with me. Make sure to stay tuned for episode 2, where I will take you on a traditional Lulu's Leaves greenhouse tour to show you what is available in their commercial greenhouse.